I cannot begin to tell you guys how many times I've been underestimated in my life and just how many times it has benefited me. So many of us see being underestimated as a negative thing. We believe that when others estimate us, it is proof that we are not worthy or deserving of the people, places, opportunities, and material things that we want for ourselves. If the world has defined us as being less than the way that we see ourselves, then we succumb to that belief. But here's the thing. When I changed my mindset about what being underestimated actually meant, and instead of seeing that as a weakness, using it as a strategy to get ahead, that's when everything changed for me. In order to turn being underestimated into your superpower, first you have to stop seeing being underestimated as a negative thing. Being underestimated is not a negative thing. It is only a negative thing if you perceive it to be a negative thing. People are always going to have opinions about you. They are always going to make assumptions and they are always going to judge you. That is just human nature. Before people know you, they make judgments, and these judgments tend to be rooted in whether they feel safe in your presence or not. And it doesn't always mean physically safe, it can mean psychologically safe. So, for example, if someone believes that a beautiful woman cannot also be intelligent, cannot also possess qualities of a leader, and you come in and you shake up their worldview by being who you are, people are not going to sit well with that because you are altering their worldview in real time. You are proving them wrong. You are dismantling their ego and their projection. And for self-aware people, that might be liberating. That might be inspiring. You might be admired. But for people who choose to live in darkness and who benefit from the false beliefs they carry, you will be a trigger forever and always. And that is the truth of it. When you are constantly being underestimated, it has nothing to do with your self-worth. And in order for you to believe this, you have to have a strong self-concept. You have to believe in yourself. You have to be confident in yourself and already know your worth. You already know the value that you bring into people's lives, the value that you bring into different spaces. If you don't believe that, you will always see being underestimated as a negative thing because you are rooting your self-concept, the way that you see yourself, in how others perceive you. So that is the first mindset shift you have to make. If you feel that being underestimated is actually working against you, it's because there's a part of you that believes what other people are projecting onto you. When you let others determine your self-concept, you are actively giving your power away to them. And so being underestimated will always be your Achilles heel, and you will never be able to use it as a tool to get you ahead. We have to start seeing being underestimated as a superpower. And here's why. When you are a woman, and I also want to be very transparent about this because I think many of us are afraid to name the elephant in the room. Not only is being a woman a reason to be underestimated in this society, being a Black woman or a woman of color, but also being a beautiful woman, you will especially endure being underestimated, even by people who love you the most. They will underestimate you because you do not fit into the box that they have created in their mind of what a beautiful woman is capable of. The other thing we have to understand is when you are underestimated, you are not seen as a threat. And when people do not see you as a threat, there comes a level of trust. And that trust is given to you not necessarily because they think that you are this amazing, trustworthy, dependable person, but because they don't think that you will ever use the knowledge that they are sharing with you. And that is where you can use being underestimated to benefit you. So let me give you a prime example. I rewatched the movie Mean Girls yesterday because I think that this is a prime example of the power of being underestimated. Katie is this innocent girl from Africa, okay? She moves to America. She goes to high school, public school for the first time, and her world is rocked. She doesn't know what is going on. Her morals are like here. And she doesn't fit in anywhere because the way that she sees the world is so different from everyone around her. For example, when she gets up to go to the bathroom, she gets yelled at by a teacher. And she's so confused by this because she goes, I've never been in a world where adults didn't automatically trust me. So right there, we're already seeing the difference between her inner world and the external world that she's operating in. So when she meets the plastics, when she meets Regina George, we see that Regina analyzes Katie. Regina sees the potential in Katie. She sees that she is a beautiful girl. She sees that she is naive and innocent. And so the reason Regina does not see her as a threat is because she believes that Katie is someone that she can manipulate. She sees similar traits in Katie that she sees in the other plastics. For example, Karen, played by the gorgeous Amanda Seyfried. She is a beautiful girl. However, she doesn't have much going on upstairs. And that benefits Regina because Karen could never outshine her because she, well, doesn't really have a brain and doesn't think for herself. Gretchen is obsessed with being popular and will do about anything to acquire a certain level of social status. She wants to be liked. She wants to be an it girl. And so she sees Regina as the key to that. She doesn't have a strong self-concept and she doesn't have morals in which she operates in that would protect her. That is a benefit to Regina because Regina can now be the star of the show by having two other beautiful women around her who she can control that validates her status as the queen plastic, right? So when she meets Katie, she sees the potential in Katie to be a plastic, not realizing that Katie is actually a leader in her own right. So when Regina takes Katie under her wing, the first time we see Regina being threatened by Katie is when Katie mentions that she has a crush on her ex-boyfriend, Aaron Samuels. Prior to that, Regina had zero interest in Aaron as she broke up with him for the guy she was cheating on him with. Suddenly, this beautiful, innocent girl from Africa has a thing for her ex, and now she wants him back. But it's only to put Katie in her place. Why does this dynamic exist? This dynamic exists because Regina not only sees the potential in Katie and the potential for manipulating her, but she also wants to make sure that Katie knows her place and to not get too ahead of herself. Katie becomes Regina's main plastic because she sees parts of herself in Katie. And so it's better to keep your enemies close than afar. Regina understands that Gretchen does not have the ability to reach queen plastic level, and neither does Karen. But Katie does. And so Regina keeps her close and forms this fake camaraderie, this fake relationship that makes her think that she can trust her only to ensure that she has control over her. And this relationship dynamic tends to be the same in the real world. So when we want to use being underestimated into a superpower, into a strategy to get us ahead, we need to realize that the reason we're being underestimated is not because we lack anything. It is because we have something that other people recognize within us. There is a power inside of us that other people are afraid of us acknowledging within ourselves and using. Because the second that we see that potential in ourselves and we start to operate from that space, it's over for them. People who underestimate others have a weak self-concept. They are afraid of being outshined. They have an ego complex. When you are underestimated, you're actually in a very powerful position because These people with this weak self-concept and ego complex, all they do is talk about themselves. All they do is talk about how grandiose they are, and they talk about the ways in which they have gotten ahead. They will share with you all of their strategies. They will share with you all of the work that they've done to get to where they are. They will share with you tips and tricks on navigating different relationships with different people. That is a benefit to you, because when you finally choose to use your power, you now have all of this free information to use at your disposal. So going back to this example, including Katie and Regina, once Katie gets angry at Regina for essentially lying to her and using Aaron Samuels as an example to put her in her place, Katie decides to ruin Regina's life. Now, I'm not saying to use your superpower for evil, guys, but what I am saying is it is impressive how far Katie got and how she was able to get what she wanted through the trust that Regina had for her, and because of the fact that Regina underestimated her. And so when Regina made that power play, she did not expect for Katie to retaliate. She expected Katie to fall in line the way that Gretchen or Karen would have done. Regina didn't realize that she was working with someone different. So when Katie starts giving Regina foot cream instead of face lotion, or when she starts feeding her those Swedish protein bars that makes her gain an insane amount of weight in a short period of time, or when Regina almost gets caught cheating on Aaron in the closet on top of the swimming pool area or whatever it's called, she never thinks that Katie is behind any of this at all. And the reason why is because she doesn't think that Katie has the balls to do that. She doesn't think that Katie has the balls to step up to the plate and to challenge her. And so again, this isn't about her not seeing value in Katie. It's about her benefiting off of the fact that Katie doesn't realize her own power and potential, or the belief that Katie doesn't realize that. And that's how Katie is able to navigate these situations without ever getting caught in the crossfires. And so if you take this example and apply it to your own life, you will benefit from this strategy. Now, I know for some people this will be considered slimy, going below the belt, but it isn't. For example, in a work environment, say you have a manager that does not respect you, that underestimates you. However, whenever you have an idea, they're quick to use it and call it their own. However, when they need advice, they come to you. When they need you to talk to someone and get them in their good graces, they come to you because you have that pull. The reason they do that is because they understand where your value lies. And because they don't want you to see that, they will always take the credit for it. So here you are working, but not receiving the credit for the value that you bring to the team or to the company. However, when you are finally in a place where you can utilize all of the information and the resources that have been freely given to you because you were underestimated and not seen as a threat, that is when you fully can step into your power and have it backed up by those resources. Do not see being underestimated as a negative thing, because being underestimated gives you access. It gives you access to information, resources, business knowledge, financial information, all of those things. It gives you a world of access that those people that underestimate you already respect. They would never give them that information. Why? Because they are threatened by them, because those people are already operating in their power. Those people already have boundaries in place. Those people already show up as the powerful beings that they are. But with you who has that seed of potential, those people that underestimate you never expect you to fully realize it and to fully step into it. And that's why they share that information with you. But at the same time, there is a deep fear that the day that you do step into that power, it won't look so good on them. They won't look good. You'll outshine them. So let them underestimate you. Get the information that you need out of that situation, that job, that person, and then use it to your benefit. And if you feel like this is mean or catty, it's not. It's protecting yourself, it's educating yourself, and it's self-preservation. And all of these experiences are ultimately helping you to become wiser, to become a woman that can discern real from fake, who really supports you and who only supports you when it benefits them. The people who really love you and want to see you succeed, and the people who are threatened by you and give you a fake level of intimacy, vulnerability, or friendship just to keep tabs on you. People who are afraid of you will always want to keep their tabs on you to make sure that you are never surpassing them. That is what these experiences are here to do. To train not only your physical sight, but your spiritual sight. So you can see the truth, so you can eliminate distractions, so you can continue living in your purpose, and so you can fully step into your power. So do not feel sad or heartbroken because you're underestimated. It's nothing about you. You do not lack anything, I promise. If you're being underestimated, it's more likely because you're a threat. And people aren't threatened by people who have nothing to give. That's just not how that works. So that's my 2 cents for today. Step into your power, let them underestimate you, and prove them wrong. And it's not about them. It's not really about even proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Because you are your only competition. They can compete with you, this imaginary competition. You're not even playing in the same game. This is about you and your growth. And nothing's going to get in the way of that. All right, that's all that I have for today because I need to go get my nails done. But I love you guys so much. I hope that this episode was insightful or inspiring for you in some way. Please share in the comments your experience with being underestimated and how you were able to reframe it and use it to your benefit. Or honestly, give some kind words to people that might be in this position and are still feeling a little unsure and shaken about it. I think that all of your experiences would be really helpful to share. Also, please let me know in the comments if there are any other topics you're interested in hearing my take on, because I have so many things I want to share. I think that's it. But I love you guys. I will see you in the next episode. And yeah, stay powerful.